All right, we're going to start with Kanye West pushing Kim Kardashian closer and closer to the edge in this battle over their kid.
Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household.
Here's the situation. The name that's as legendary as it is polarizing, is back in the spotlight. And let's be real, is anyone actually shocked? Chaos follows him like a shadow. Every move he makes, every post he drops, on what used to be Twitter and is now X, sends ripples through the entertainment world. But this time, it's not just about headline-grabbing feuds or jaw-dropping remarks. This one hits closer to home. We're talking about his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, and the deeply public and emotional custody battle over their 4 children. So strap in. This is a wild dive into the ever-complicated world of Ye's personal life.
She has made this very clear, she wants her kids to have a relationship with their father. She's not trying to stand in the way of that. But when he says things like this, at some point, she has to be thinking, I don't know if this is good for our kids.
Let's rewind to the beginning of the end. Ye and Kim's split in 2021. It dominated headlines for months. And honestly, the ripple effects are still being felt. These two weren't just a couple. They were the power couple, living, breathing symbols of fame, fortune, and cultural influence. But behind the glam, the designer fits, and those picture-perfect Instagram moments, their marriage was falling apart. By the time Kim officially filed for divorce, the signs had been there for a while. And though the divorce was finalized in 2022, the drama didn't end there. If anything, the real storm hit after the papers were signed.
You put yourself in that.
Absolutely, I did. That was my fault.
Maybe they're saying that you don't take accountability.
No, that was my fault. I didn't want to have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with her. But that wasn't God's plan.
The custody arrangement for their 4 children, North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm, has been one of the most contentious parts of their split. While they were granted joint custody on paper, the reality tells a very different story. Reports suggest that Ye is rarely seen with the kids, leaving Kim to handle most of the parenting on her own. She's been doing her best to create a sense of stability for their children, but Ye's public outbursts keep making that harder. From accusing Kim and her family of manipulation to throwing around claims of brainwashing, his social media rants have only intensified the tension, turning private struggles into very public drama.
You get to a point where we don't think that Kanye West can shock us anymore, and then he says something that is so shocking, so alarming. It's one thing to go after Kim, say whatever you want, I guess. It's his ex-wife. It's horrible, but he says it. To say things that will redound against the kids is just unforgivable. I mean, we've been through this so many times. We say it all the time. Wearing the Nazi shirt is unforgivable. The Klan hood itself.
Now let's talk about Ye's online behavior. Because honestly, where do we even start? Over the past few years, he's turned to social media as his personal battleground, airing grievances in the most explosive, headline-grabbing ways possible. From taking aim at Kim to throwing shade at Beyoncé and Jay-Z, no one's been off limits. He's even gone so far as to praise historically condemned figures, sparking outrage, confusion, and yes, a flood of memes. But underneath the viral chaos, there's a much darker undertone. His posts have become increasingly erratic and unsettling, raising serious concerns about his mental well-being. Take, for instance, his recent claim that Kim and her family are indoctrinating their kids. In a now-deleted post, he accused the Kardashians of using their influence to manipulate and exploit his children, painting a picture of a deeply sinister agenda. These kinds of wild, unverified accusations aren't new for Ye. They're part of a troubling pattern. And it's not just what he says, it's how unpredictable it all is. One minute, he's gushing about his love for his kids and sharing tender moments. The next, he's threatening a full-scale war with Kim over custody. And then there was the public spat with Khloe Kardashian, which blew up over something as simple as a photo of North. What could have been an innocent family moment spiraled into yet another rant about control and exploitation. Classic, yeah. Turning something small into a firestorm.
You think about if Harley was part of intelligence, right? What kind of people you think are surrounding my kids? What kind of people you think are in that house?
Of course, Ye's online outbursts aren't just internet drama. They come with real-life consequences. Kim, understandably, has reportedly been considering legal steps to remove his joint legal custody. Sources say she's genuinely worried about how his erratic behavior might affect their children. And honestly, her concerns aren't unfounded. His actions have done more than just damage their already fragile co-parenting dynamic. They've cast serious doubt on his ability to make stable, responsible decisions as a father. And while Kim has consistently tried to shield the kids from the chaos, it's becoming more and more obvious that things are slipping out of control. What started as public venting has escalated into a situation that's not just messy.
You already made everybody think I'm crazy. You already took my family away. You already separated all my friends. I don't got no celebrity.
Now let's address the part of the conversation that can't be ignored. Ye's mental health. He's been open in the past about living with bipolar disorder. And while it's commendable that he's brought attention to the condition, it's also clear that he's been struggling to manage it. His unpredictable behavior, impulsive choices, and habit of turning on those closest to him all point to someone who isn't in a stable mental space. Despite growing concern from both fans and critics urging him to get help, Ye has largely resisted the idea. In fact, in his recent track Bianca, he calls out his wife, Bianca Censori, for allegedly trying to have him committed. He claims he's not sick and can't understand why she or